meeting some of Cleantech's leading names in this region. This panel this afternoon will introduce you to 5 of the brightest lights in this industry. They all represent the 5 finalists for this year's coveted Company of the Year award, which will be presented immediately following our panel discussion somewhere around 5 o'clock. My name is Steve Churm, CEO of Churm Media and publisher of OC Metro Business Magazine here in Orange County, and it is an honor to return again this year to be a part of the event that spotlights one of the true growth industries, not only in Orange County, not only in Southern California, but in America today. The 5 companies represented in this panel are setting the standard for innovation, relevance, and performance. At a critical time when job creation is the entree on the national economic menu, these firms are delivering both opportunity and value to the market in terms of employment and products. For the next hour, you'll have the unique opportunity to learn more about these companies and why they've been able to rise above the competition and emerge as beacons in your industry. As a journalist for more than 30 years who has witnessed many trends, the emergence of Cleantech as an industry is one of the most hopeful developments in the past 5 decades. The format of this panel discussion is real simple. I'm going to read brief introductions of all 5 panelists in the order they will give short presentations about their companies. We've asked them to limit their opening remarks to 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes. And this may be the most difficult task they have this entire week because we know all 5 of them are passionate, absolutely passionate about their companies and could speak all afternoon and evening. But we've asked them to condense that down to just a few short minutes. Once they've completed their presentations, I have several prepared questions I'm going to ask, and if time allows, we'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Again, my job is to keep this panel running on time so that we get to the announcement of Company of the Year shortly after 5 o'clock. You may be a little frustrated by the brevity of this panel. I'm sure our panelists will be delighted to stay afterwards if you have a couple of specific questions. So having laid the groundwork here, let's jump right into the presentation of our panelists. First, to my right, your left, is Gerhard Forstner, Chief Executive Officer, M2 Renewables. Mr. Forstner is a highly successful wastewater executive and has held high-level corporate management positions. Most recently, Mr. Forstner was president of Huber Technology, Inc., the U.S. subsidiary of Huber SE, a global leader in the field of wastewater solutions with more than $150 million in annual revenue. Under Mr. Forstner's leadership, Huber Technology became the market leader in the area of mechanical pretreatment and biosolids dewatering. Born in Salzburg, Austria, Mr. Forstner graduated with a BS in electrical engineering from the Technical College of Engineering in Kappenberg. Mr. Forstner also holds an MBA from the Cole School of Business from Queen's University in Charlotte, North Carolina. Next on our panel this afternoon, Vahan Garboushian, forgive me, Vahan, founder, Chief Technology Officer, and Board of Directors Chairman of Amonix, Inc. Mr. Garboushian has pioneered the development of CPV technology since launching Amonix in 1989. His passion, vision, and leadership over the past 20 years have made Amonix the most efficient, reliable CPV technology on the market today. Throughout his career, Mr. Garboushian consistently has been a pioneer and thought leader. Prior to founding Amonix, he played a significant role in the commercialization of semiconductor design concepts. In 1971, he formed Power Hybrids, Inc., a supplier of military and commercial power semiconductors, which he grew into a $25 million business before selling it to MACOM, a Fortune 500 company, in 1981. Mr. Garboushian received a master's in electrical engineering from UCLA and a diploma from the MIT Sloan School of Management. Our third panelist today is Key Nam, founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of T3 Motion, Inc. Mr. Nam has extensive experience as an entrepreneur developing cutting-edge products. After attending Drexel University and California State University, Long Beach, Mr. Nam has built a career based upon his natural creativity, innovative thinking, and result-oriented engineering style. Mr. Nam's commitment to vision and leadership is woven through a remarkable range of international technology companies. Prior to T3 Motion in 2001, Mr. Nam founded the Evolutionary Electric Vehicles, EEV, to provide high-performance motor controller packages to the emerging hybrid and electrical vehicle market. Fourth on our panel today is Joe Perry, CEO of FlexEnergy, Inc., a clean technology company with the breakthrough solution to transform one of the world's largest sources of greenhouse gases, low-quality methane, from a source of pollution into clean energy. Joe brings to the company over 25 years of experience founding, managing, and successfully growing early-stage ventures. He has a particular focus on nurturing companies with innovative technologies. Most recently, Joe is a founder of ATECC, a firm developing a modular vehicle structure for electric automobiles. Prior to that, he served as a principal for new business venture investments at Paperboy Ventures in Washington, D.C. Joe holds a BS degree in physics from Duquesne University. And finally on our panel today, Lisa Varga, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Phoenix Energy Technologies. She brings 15 plus years of energy and waste management experience to the dynamic Phoenix team. Prior to founding Phoenix, Ms. Varga led sales and marketing efforts for a leading waste management company. Lisa brings a wealth of retail knowledge and experience to the Phoenix organization and has put this knowledge to use in some of the industry's leading trade organizations. She served on she has served on several boards, including the board of directors for the Professional Retail Store Maintenance since 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for our 5 panelists this afternoon. And I'm going to begin with you, Gerhard, if you would please lead us off with your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you to all of you who are spending the final, I don't want to say the final moment of your life, the final moment of today, this afternoon with us. Thank you for OC Cleantech for organizing this, Dayla and the team. It's a great event. I'm really excited to be here today. Would like to tell you a little bit about our company. We're in very great company here to my right, so I'm very honored to be even sitting here today, and would like to talk to you a little bit about our company, M2 Renewables. Who is M2 Renewables? We are perfect, thank you. We are a renewable energy cleantech wastewater treatment company based here in Orange County. Our offices are in Lake Forest. We have been here in Orange County for the last 7 years, backed by Same Capital Partners, and we have existing installation bases also here in California. And sorry, I have to turn around here. No, it's good now. Thank you. So next slide, please. To tell you a little bit about what our value proposition, so what we do, what are we doing. So I know I'm not asking all of you who has used the restroom today or not. I can ask who drove their car or walked here to this event, but I know we all use water, and we certainly cannot do without water. We may be able to do without oil, but we cannot do without water. So our company is focused on really providing wastewater solutions to municipalities and industries. We are focusing on several areas. It may be as simple as Title 22, it's not simple, but Title 22 water reuse for golf courses, so taking your wastewater, cleaning it up to the right standard and irrigating your golf courses or your ground. Or we provide process water in industrial applications so the water can be reused. And we also take what used to be a waste product, which are solids or also known as sludge from a wastewater treatment plant, and figured out a way of how can we use this quote waste and turn it into a really usable product, which we I've been talking to you in a little bit, which we found a way to do so. So we take the waste, basically we take your toilet paper, which you flush down your toilet, we dry the toilet paper and use this toilet paper to create a syngas, which we can generate electricity with a microturbine like a flex power station, for example, or we can generate hydrogen, liquid hydrogen, or we can generate a liquid fuel. Next slide, please. So in here I'm focusing on main portion and really the unique value proposition of our company. There's no other company in the world who has figured out a way to take the waste, which is really what you flush down the toilet, what arrives at the wastewater treatment plant, and use it beneficially. So what we do is we take very early on the fresh solids of a wastewater treatment plant, we screen them out, take those. Here I got a nice picture for you here at the bottom left here. Basically what you see this is cellulose material coming out of our screen. We take this material, we dry it to 80%, and then we feed it into a high temperature gasification system, which takes the biosolid, this mass basically, the solid mass, and generates a gas, hydrogen and CO. And that gas then, as I said earlier, can be used in a microturbine, like a flex, or in a GE chamber or a genset. Or we could generate liquid hydrogen or other C6, C12 fuels. So the company is able to provide parts of technologies like individual parts or a whole full-blown wastewater treatment system. Again, strong patents, it does not exist, it has not been done worldwide. The company has existing installations where we can prove our concept. Next slide, please. So what are the drivers for the technologies? Whether it's in the United States or worldwide, they are the same. We have increasing fossil fuel prices. We have rising rates for disposal costs in Europe. You cannot put solids, basically, your screenings from wastewater treatment plants into landfills anymore. It goes into thermal conversion. We have also rising electricity rates on islands mostly, and there, of course, we got the double problem. We got rising electricity rates because electricity cannot be imported. There's no grid. It needs to be generated on the islands with fossil fuels, and you also have no place to do away with your waste. So instead of creating landfills, nations like Puerto Rico, Bahamas, or Greece islands, they don't want to create landfills. They want to create more hotel beds. So what we do is we create decentralized wastewater treatment plants, take the waste, dry it, generate electricity to run the wastewater treatment plant, and provide electricity and heat for those hotels, and give them more opportunity to create revenue-producing hotel beds instead of running landfills. So, very important, it's the only solution, just like Flex, it's the only solution with a zero emission profile. So the gasification process has no emissions. So we also do not generate any byproducts. So we have no oil, we have no tars, we have no emissions. The only thing you're left with is the syngas plus 7% of your matter is converted into fly ash, which can safely be used in construction or for building materials. Next slide, please. So right now, of course, I need to be a little slide for in our own interest here. So we're out for a Series B fundraising. Right now we're backed by Sale Capital. We're looking for a $10 million raise, closing out this year. We're working with right now with several partners. We're looking at financial and strategic partners. I don't need to read the names, you see them up there. And to basically increase, generate working capital, to hire people here, to build demonstration trailers, and to work on R&D projects. So that comes, next slide please. This is one of the use of our money, so which you're gonna see at mid-October at the large national wastewater treatment show in Los Angeles called WEFTEC. This is a trailer where we have part of a technology mounted in. We're gonna roll it across the United States, demonstrate concepts to wastewater treatment plants, and that's where some of the monies for Series B will go into on the second trailer. Thank you.
Thank you. Gerhard, very much. I appreciate that. Our next presenter, Vahan, is going to talk to us about Amonix.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. My name is Vahan Garboushian from Amonix. Amonix is a proprietary designer and manufacturer of very high performance, high concentration photovoltaic systems for large utility scale applications. It all started about 20 years ago with a vision to make low-cost electricity for the masses. And the solar, as most of you know, it's the conversion of the solar to electricity hasn't been that, it's been simple, however, it's been very expensive. So Amonix came up with different ideas of how to convert solar into electricity through intermediary, what we concentrate the solar, we pick up the solar light and we concentrate on a very, very, very high efficiency solar cell. It's the same thing like when you're burning something with your magnifying glass. So that way we reduce the cost of the semiconductor material involved in it, and that leads into low-cost electricity. It took many years to develop and prove in the field and to prove with the utilities, because we started working only with utility scale applications and very large commercial applications. And lo and behold, we're here right now. In the last couple of years, we have raised several $100 million to launch this company into larger scale production. What we have today is basically the largest, the most efficient solar electric generator in the world. And we've been very quickly have put it to practice in both commercially and technologically. And we have a place in Seal Beach, California, which we about 200 people. We employ about over 200 people in that. And we have a manufacturing place in North Las Vegas, which employs over 300 people. And we have a research place in Torrance, California, that we try to stay ahead of all the technologies. We believe, I don't know, no, okay. So basically, if you look into some of these slides, which is very difficult, it gives you about timeline of Amonix. Amonix started about, as I said, about 20 years ago and went into many, many phases of trying to perfect the technology and make it user-friendly and reliable. Reliability is the name of the game for utility scale application for all, as you see, all the blackouts you have and things from utilities, they don't accept that. So we had to practice and learn, and we've gone into many, many generations, and today we have one of the most efficient and reliable products in the market. So to give you a couple, we believe this particular technology is the forefront of photovoltaic technology, what we call photovoltaics, means generating electricity directly from the sun. It's folded on a semiconductor device, what we call solar cell, and it turns into electricity. We believe this technology is, today is very, very competitive at very low production level, and will be way ahead of everybody else in the next couple of years. Amonix at this point has many, many projects that we're putting in the field. We just finished 5 megawatts in a place called in New Mexico, and we're working on a 30 megawatt for a company called Cogentrix, which is an arm of subsidiary of Goldman Sachs. And today, with announcement today that Secretary of Energy approved $90 million for Cogentrix, basically using our equipment to put in the field as we speak today. So Amonix is going places. Why I believe this technology will be one of the most powerful and the most low cost as we go along, because it has a very, very easy to deploy. We have to go. We have that thing. The next. It's hard to see and talk over it simultaneously. It's basically the technology has lots going for it. One of them is smallest footprint. It means that you could put more megawatt in a least amount of land. It has a very, very low capital to start it. Most of the solar energies, like photovoltaic energies, they require every watt that you manufacture requires several dollars of investment. In this case, it only takes fraction of a dollar to investment to put this thing, and that is really matters when you're making gigawatts and terawatts of this, manufacturing of that. It has a very low carbon footprint because very minimum semiconductor content in the environmentally very friendly because it sits on a pedestal and tracks the sun, and therefore you could have animals and things grazing underneath of it, and so it basically requires no water. It requires and we thrive. It's really in a very, very sunny area, dry and sunny areas like the southwest. Right now, Amonix is expanding into India, Italy, South Africa, and as I speak, several of our CEO and saying they're making deals in Italy for large projects and in India. So having said all that, I believe that this is the fastest road to terawatts, what we call, we think that this particular technology, it is obviously we're putting it in the ground and it's very, very powerful, but I believe that in the next 4 or 5 years, it's really taking hold at this point, and as you said, the United States government believes in it, they're putting money, earnest money in it. So it is the future technology, and you'll hear much, much more about it next several years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Vahan, very much. Next on our panel is Ki Nam, CEO of T3 Motion.
Thank you. I think I'll stand about 10 slides. Good afternoon. My name is Ki Nam. T3 Motion, we manufacture electric vehicles for initially police and security. Next slide, please. Company was founded in 2006. Currently, we employ about 60 employees. We manufacture everything close to Mesa, California. And currently, we export to, it says 25 countries. I think it's close to 30 countries. We just got a $1.1 million order last month. We just press released this morning in Saudi Arabia. Also, currently deployed about approximately 3,000 vehicles worldwide in, like I said, 30 countries. We use swappable lithium batteries, and currently we field approximately over 8,000 batteries out in the field. And currently also deployed 50 airports. Next, please. So mainly we have 3 product lines. And current product lines are T3 on top. Next one we're developing, you see a car out there for R3 product. And we have another product for low-speed vehicle, so CT micro car. Next, please. So these kind of applications where T3 used. The paramedics, police, US Postal Service, security, and other countries, different security type of vehicle. Here's the one with the bomb squad. Next, please. So this is a new product we just released. It's called R3. It's electric and also hybrid. It's 2-passenger, weighs about 120 pounds. Unique feature of this product is a classified as a motorcycle. And you may say this doesn't look like a motorcycle, but it is classified as a motorcycle because it's third wheel. And you're going to say it has 4 tires. So, real wheel has 2 tires and 1 wheel. So it is classified as a motorcycle. It weighs about 50 pounds. So this is what you go out of box thinking. So one advantage is now you can go to carpool lane by yourself because being motorcycle. That's a huge advantage. So this is a low-speed vehicle, or electric vehicle. It has between 40 to 80 mile range, but it has a limitation because of being a low-speed vehicle. Maximum speed in California is 25 miles an hour. So it has a limited usage so it has a certain usage like parking patrol for police or security for shopping mall security. Next slide. So this is our manufacturing plant in Costa Mesa. We use current local suppliers. 70% of suppliers are local California suppliers. And we believe in keeping jobs in California and keeping jobs in the U.S. So we buy very little product from overseas, and we manufacture everything here, design everything in the U.S. Also, but we export. 60% of our current product is an export to other countries, especially to the Middle East, believe it or not. So the largest actually user are Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Israel, Lebanon, Egypt. Next, please. In the U.S., so in initial deployment, we sold to police, security, and government municipality. So these are, so we have a pretty extensive, impressive customer list. You can LAPD, Target, LA Sheriff, USC, Wackenut, Securitas, Disneyland. Some of that here we sell to Pentagon, CIA, FBI, U.S. military. Next, please. So these are other products that we try and design using current parts in our parts kit. So if you look at the product, it looks very similar. So we try to utilize the same battery system, same battery motor controller, same brake system, same wheel, trying to package a little different for different market segment. So basically, the current Q3 cost per day, operating cost 10 cents a day. So drive 10,000 miles costs you $70 energy cost to drive 10,000 miles. So we actually provide ROI in 6 to 8 months. But actually, these different security companies save about $20,000 a year using our product. And current, let's go back. So with 3,000 vehicles, I calculated by this spring, we logged 20 million miles so far with all the vehicles in the field. And they equate to 120,000 CO2 reduction out there. So far we manufacture T3s right now going to R3 for consumer product, and looking at some other products out there to provide a very energy efficient transportation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guy. I think Churm Media needs about 3 of those, okay? So, impressive. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Joe Perry, CEO of FlexEnergy. Joe?
Thank you. Thank you. Wait, trying to get a slide. Go on. Well, about 18 months ago, I was approached by 2 Orange County venture capital groups about an investment they had made into a Cleantech company called FlexEnergy. And so I said, try to describe what it does. And so they started describing to me about how they could take all this fuel that no one ever used, et cetera, and turn it into energy. So I said, well, let me go talk to the CEO at the time, who was the president and founder, and let him explain it to me. So I went on and he started talking to me about flow dynamics and fluid this and reaction rate this and combustion this. And I said, okay, let's really slow this down. What does this company do? And he said, well, it takes fuel that nothing else can do, which is right now a pollution. So I went over to the blackboard and wrote down pollution. And he says, what we do is we take that pollution and we can use it to create energy. I said, well, that's pretty cool. And wrote down energy. And then he says, and then we can sell the energy. And I said, so what you're saying is you've got pollution, which is a problem throughout the world. And you can now take it, convert it to energy, and you can sell that energy. How much do you get? Well, we get more than it costs for the machine. So I said, that means that pollution cleanup can be profitable. And he said, yeah. And I said, well, this sounds like a better proposition to go to investors than talking about fluid dynamics, etc. And then it went on from there, because we not only take pollution, turn it into energy, sell the energy, pay for the pollution cleanup, but we're creating jobs. When I joined the company, there were 7 people here in Irvine, California. We now have over 125. I know the slide's going to say 100, but they grabbed the wrong deck. They grabbed the deck that I showed the investors, and you never want to tell the investors how many people you really got. Okay? But we got 125 people. Actually, 5 started today. Okay, and so now I said, wait a minute, now we got pollution. Turn it into energy, sell the energy, pay for the pollution cleanup. creating jobs in this economic environment, another big plus. And I said, this sounds like a real winner. And then I said, well, wait a minute, if we're creating energy, that means we're reducing foreign oil dependency. I said, this sounds like a real winner. The only problem was it didn't work. So, about a year after I joined it, we started getting actually running systems, okay? And as I said, what this system does is generate power on a 24-hour-a-day basis from the things we throw away. It produces power from landfills, from old closed landfills, from landfills that have such weak streams of energy that they're even too weak to flare, so, which is what a lot of landfills do. So we take that energy and turn it into electric energy. We can take methane contents mixed into air that's breathable. We can take the air from a coal mine and turn it into energy. This has never been done before, never been thought of done before. So, and lastly, our pollution from our process, which is taking these weak streams of gases, we turn it into energy, and our emissions profile is water, not too bad about that, and CO2. But the CO2 is 1/20th the impact on the global environment than the methane gas that starts. So not only are we generating energy from pollution, we're reducing greenhouse gas effect in the atmosphere by 20, 25 times, depending on which scientist you talk to. Let's go to the next slide. Again, this is the 100 people that I tell the investors we got. But we actually went 2 slides. Can we go back? Go back one more. One more. One more. One more. Go forward then. All right. We have 3 locations now. Early this year, we acquired a division from Ingersoll Rand, giving us manufacturing support, giving us field service support around the United States. We have 3 locations: Mocksville, North Carolina, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and Irvine, California. And we're building at those places the cleanest power platforms ever seen in the world. Let's go to the next slide. Most of the problems when you have waste fuels is that there's a lot of contaminants in the fuel. And our systems, because of the way they're designed, not only produce power, but they destroy contaminants in the fuel, eliminating a lot of the things that cause waste fuel recovery systems from being effective. We don't need fuel cleanups, we don't need siloxane removals, we don't need after scrubbers on the back end of the system. We basically take the dirty fuel, generate energy, and emit CO2 and water. Next slide. The technology has wide applications, and this is one of the most interesting things. It turns out the technology can be used on, as Gerhard mentioned, wastewater treatment plants. We've just received orders from MISTO up in Northern California at Versailles Water to do methane recovery from wastewater treatment plants. We can clean up methane from landfills. We can clean up methane from associated gases from the drilling of oil. For those of you who drive up and down PCH, you'll actually see some flares in the Long Beach area, which are just results of low quality fuel that has to be flared rather than emitted into the atmosphere. We can take that low quality fuel, turn it into energy to power the city. Again, our systems can also be used for things like combined heat and power, providing power and heat to buildings. Next slide, please. A couple pictures of our products on the next slide. On the left is our zero pollution FP250 systems. The initial system has been installed at Fort Benning, Georgia, the U.S. Army Ranger Training Station, where we are taking 18% methane, turning it to energy. That's unheard of, okay, in the industry. And that's done at the base. We're actually having a major dedication to that on October 27th of this year. On the right are some of our systems that are used in conventional use. They can be used for powering buildings. They can be used on waste gas or a variety of applications. That's the MT250 systems we acquired from Ingersoll Rand. If you flip to the next slide, our systems are very fuel efficient. We can run on any fuel from natural gas on down to that breathable air from coal mines. That gives us a range of operation that's never been seen in the power generation industry before. We can go to the next slide. Emissions, emissions, emissions. People in Southern California, I was amazed. When I came here, I didn't realize there was an island out there. In 1984, you couldn't see that island out there very often. It was sort of like this hazy thing. There are mountains over this way. I mean, where'd they come from, okay? And we owe it to AQMD. We owe it to the tightening of our emission standards throughout California that has cleaned up in our environment. I don't read in our newspapers there being a political battle between cleaning up and Sutherland, okay? We have seen the results of cleaning up our environment, and our systems are going to be a major contributor to cleaning up the nation's air, as well as reducing foreign oil imports to the country. I want to thank you. My staff worked long and hard to try to keep me to 5-6 minutes. I probably ran long. They kept cutting my slides out. Finally, they came to the end. Thank you very much.
Well done, Joe. And we've now saved the rows on the panel for last. I'd like to turn to Lisa Varga, CEO, Phoenix Energy Technologies. Lisa.
Thank you. You're going to call me Rose. No, it's Lisa. If you don't mind, I'm going to stand up myself so I don't knock myself off the edge of the seat. Thank you for the invite from OC Tech, and it's an honor to be here as a new company in California. We moved our headquarters from New Jersey to Orange County late last year, and are starting to get involved here in the community. So we're very excited to be on this panel today. Next slide. To give you some insight to Phoenix, unfortunately I don't have anything sexy like a turbine or a toilet water something or other here. I keep hearing the word waste, but what we did was somewhat simplistic. I have over 15, almost 20 years in the commercial building space with national retailers as my clients. And the one thing that I saw pretty consistently was that the energy industry and the way the process is for buildings and commercial buildings and our customers was very disjointed. Commercial buildings consume the largest portion of energy in the country and in the world, and also consume or emit the highest, or 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions. Simple thing I didn't hear a whole lot of today in the panels and in some of the speakings was the most energy efficient way for fastest and least expensive is to use less. And what we've done was take a consulting firm who use all these disjointed factors of managing energy for our customers and built a software platform that allows us to tie all that together and act on behalf of our customers. We wanted to do that in a way that we could act on behalf of our customers, or actually give the tool to customers out there who have the skills and the in-house wherewithal to do it themselves. Just a little fact, each dollar of overhead savings is worth anywhere from $3 to $10 to our customers' bottom line, which is a great return for many customers, and it's sustainable year after year. Next slide, please. I founded Phoenix in 2004, and again, as a consulting firm, but quickly saw as we evolved our services solutions that the only way to scale this business was to build technology. And in doing that, we had to look at several things, and one of the major things is the proprietary software and hardware out in the buildings across the country and across the world. So we built some proprietary gateways to connect to all the building control systems out there without having to put a widget in each individual bit of building. If you can imagine, we have many clients like Office Depot, Home Depot, who have thousands of sites, and to put a box in every store on top of a hardware solution that they've already paid for about $10 to $20 million, $1,000 rather per location, to put another box in there for $5,000 to $10,000 wasn't going to scale for our customers. So we were able to do that with IP, and built the product out, which we call today Enterprise DX, in 2008 through 2009. We tested it out in 3 markets that were not our clients. won the retail market, but was a client who we didn't currently serve, the university market as well as the commercial market. And worked out the bugs with those clients and successfully launched the product in 2010 and 2011. Next slide, please. Here are some of our clients that we serve today, and I'm very excited to say throughout the 8 years of being in business, we've never lost a customer. And what we attribute that to is listening to the customer and answering their solutions. And Enterprise DX, which we launched last year, was simply that, being able to answer their pains of pulling all those disparate pieces of data, building control information, weather, occupancy data, all into one platform in a very intuitive, easy-to-use way. Next slide, please. So basically, to sum it up, is we use their existing infrastructure through real-time measurement and verification to control their energy use and cost. And very simple, either we do it or the customers do it for themselves. Next slide. Basically, it's a software as a service model that allows the customer to access or give access to anyone around the country, around the world, that is two-way controllable, and they can put parameters on that automatically controls their energy use and also has certain alarming factors that tell them when it's time to do that. Next, please. So again, there's no on-site installation, no new equipment or hardware required for the customer as long as they have building control systems and for some type of metering information coming out of the building. And we can also integrate to those legacy proprietary control systems that are in the building today. So we get in quickly and efficiently, and to give you some idea of scale there, Office Depot has 1,200 locations. We were able to deploy our software in less than 12 weeks, never visiting a single site or their corporate headquarters, bringing in 300,000 points of data every 15 minutes. So the amount of data that we're pulling in for our customers, at the same time overlaying things like weather, occupancy, point of sale information. So now they have a very robust system that you can now take action on. So that integration, you can have all the data you want, but if you don't do anything with it, you're not going to get value. We've made sure that we married that with a process, so either we train the trainer or we actually do it ourselves for our customers. But when you integrate and overlay those data points, you're able to really quickly scale out anomalies, things that are happening, and those major outliers, and actually take action. We had a pilot of 150 locations, and the return on investment for this one particular client was 73% less than 5 months. The paybacks are under 6 months typically for our customers. Next slide, please. So some of the things that a lot of our clients use, many reasons customers buy, not only just to drive their energy programs, but also to measure and verify a lot of the projects that they are doing. So if you're doing any type of renewable, we tie into renewable energies out there. We help them deploy their demand response strategies. We help with their cooling and heating strategies, and also are now tying into procurement strategies with our partner Direct Energy, so that you can hedge and use all your multiple fuel sources and manage that better. This is just a snapshot of how we go after, from a services side, for those clients who launch our software. We typically go through an analysis process of data gathering for about 90 days, and then execute strategy, validate the savings, and proactively impact their budget. Again, seeing returns of less than 6 months in many cases. And typically our customers see an average of 10 to 25% off their energy savings on an annualized basis. They also do see impact on their facility maintenance budget, but we don't measure that for them. But typically the customer's response is around 20 to 25% savings on their facility maintenance spend, because they prolong the life of their equipment, as well as take better care of their operations. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, very much, and my compliments to the 5 panelists. Your staff did do a wonderful job of keeping you very concise. Again, they probably could have talked most of the day about their passion, which is their companies. These are the 5 companies that are up for Company of the Year, Cleantech's growing prestigious award. But before we get there, and we have spent a day here talking about specifics, diving deep into numbers, the engineering, the science, I want to pull back a bit. We have some leading CEOs here and try to get them to think a little more broadly and a little more, I think, honestly. And the first question, and I'd like to start with you, Key, and this would be for everyone, is what is it that keeps you up at night? As you showed us all those wonderful illustrations and graphic representations of futuristic vehicles, what is it that keeps you up at night and worries you about your company moving forward?
I'm going to copy his joke, all right? You can't pull me up.
It's late in the day, isn't it?
Actually, my wife just called. Well, there's many things. These days, where the economy goes is a lot of budget cuts, especially our business municipality, state, government. So a lot of budget cuts through the state municipality is a big concern. But there are grants available out there. If you look for the grants, sure some of us use grants and subsidy. There's a right subsidy and grants out there. If you look for the right way, you can find it. So last year when we, in 2008, especially 2009, the economy hits this country, we look for export business. So we started going after foreign countries. So that's why we're after 30 countries right now. And over 60% of business is export right now.
Thank you. Gerhard, what keeps you up at night?
You know, there's a wife, actually I have an owl in my backyard who truly does keep me up at night. I don't know what kind of owl it is, but it howls every night, so that's one thing.
You're learning more than you wanted, right?
More than I wanted.
So
I explain my son always what it is, and he wants to get up at night as well. So, but what we are dealing really with a highly regulated industry, which is, you know, EPA, you got all kind of players, like he said, budget. So when you deal with municipalities, regulations is really for us, which is almost, I want to say, a major hindrance to enter the municipal market. Fortunately, we have the industrial market as well. But, you know, when you deal with uncertainty, and I think that applies to many companies, whether you depend on grants or just on regulations, where the EPA is turning, or where the Congress or the political, the Senate or Congress is turning, people want to know, they want a certainty. You know, what is the next law on biosolids, on disposals? You know, can we go to a landfill? What is the next pollutants? How are they regulated? And with that, it ties right into the spending habits of municipalities, you know, where we try to get a better, I mean, we would love to have an answer on you know, what clarity on where we go, where the United States is going on the wastewater side and on the energy side. Since this is rather difficult to do, you know, we take matters in our own hands, and we have people, we are fortunate to have great people on our board from the industry, helping us steering the course. But if you ask me, one thing is really, you know, uncertainty on regulatory environment, and of course right now the economic environment, which affects municipalities, bonds, you know, which pay for wastewater projects and public projects.
Terrific. Thank you. Good luck with the owl. Vahan, what keeps you up at night?
I'm not going to repeat everybody else, you know, claim. I'm used to my wife's snoring. So, basically, the energy field is very huge, and the renewable part of it is taken off really very powerfully and very fast. So, staying ahead of the curve is most challenging to me. So we have to stay ahead of the innovation, and we're working with really giant companies. Most of the companies that right now most of the production happening in China or rest of the world, and to stay ahead of the innovation and grow very, very fast. And you always wonder if you can make one cardinal mistake while you're growing so fast. So our company is growing extremely fast at this point. Imagine only about 18 months ago, we were only like 30 people. Now we have over 500 people in the company. And we're all over the world, and we're installing and doing everything else. So keeping ahead of the curve, keeping ahead of everything else. And the most important is finding the proper talent, because you can have any technology you want, any cost. If you cannot execute properly, you're nowhere. So to find the people that they can execute, people can innovate, that's a constant thing, how we do that. And that's what really keeps me, how we grow very fast and how we keep ahead of the curve.
Thank you very much. Joe, what troubles you at night?
Well, as a growing company, I would say the number one issue is always to stay on top of your cash. We generate cash from operations, but we're expanding at such a rate that we're at a significant negative cash flow. That means we have to make the right decisions. We have to work with our investors, make sure that we have the right investor set to the company, the right board, to make the right strategic decisions, because it'll be several years before we have the luxury of being cash positive as an operation. So cash, I would say, is the number one thing as a CEO that keeps me up at night.
Terrific, thank you. And Lisa?
How about speaking on a panel with Arnold Schwarzenegger on my 40th birthday?
Is it your 40th birthday?
Yes, it is.
Today? We've learned about wives, owls, and birthdays.
Yeah,
so happy
that's all
birthday.
today. No, I would agree with Joe. In a growing environment, making sure you stay ahead of cash, know where your cash is at all time, in regards to where do you put your dollars, and really finding good talent. As you expand and you have a vision and you know your customer intimately, you've got to infect those employees with the passion and being able to project that on them as you grow and find those good people. It's really tough sometimes.
Terrific. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said at the top of this panel, you have been able to listen today to a unique opportunity to be with 5 of the bright lights of the clean tech industry. Please give them a hand.